Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here and welcome to the longest Sims 4 speed build you are ever going to see. I don't feel too bad because I feel like everyone who took part in this build is in the same boat. These are big ass houses and we didn't go sparingly on them. We put in so much detail and I don't build very often, so playing around with new things like the trim and everything like that I never really play around with, foundation work and stuff, I just lost my head. This build gave me such a headache, but in the end, I was really happy with what it turned out to be. So this is a collaboration between myself, Hatsy, Steff, and lilsimsie. We decided to do some San Francisco houses. As you guys know, we all attended Sims Camp this year, and I feel like, well, those lot are all quite well apt in building in The Sims 4, and they were like freaking out over the houses. I mean, I can appreciate a pretty house, and San Francisco has some of the prettiest houses I have ever seen in my entire life. Literally, when we were walking around the street, we went into the city on the first day and everyone was just taking Instagrams, and it's like one of the most picturesque places I have ever seen in my entire life. So those guys got inspired and then they were like, Molly, you should totally join in on the collab, and my god do I regret that decision. Not for the fact that it's a collaboration between them or anything like that. It's just that, like I said, they are all well versed in building in The Sims 4 and your girl isn't. Your girl had to work for this, let me tell you. I had no clue the way that I wanted to go about this house. I checked out like San Francisco houses on Google and things like that, and I was like, you know what? There's a lot of rainbow houses around San Fran that I found on Google Images, and I was like, I'm gonna make a rainbow house. I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna make this row of houses super gay and just go for it. The inside didn't actually turn out as colourful as I imagined it would be, but I kind of like it. It's kind of still got, I don't know what you would call it, like a hippie kind of charm to it, but it's quite dark. I imagine like a male gay couple living in this house. Like that's kind of the vision I had in mind when I was creating it. So the outside is like very bright and in your face, and I couldn't really decide what colours to go for or anything like that. I do change up the outside like a fair amount throughout this build, which is why it was so long. Without like chopping this all up and speeding it all up by 5, it was around 3.5 hours of footage, so we did not skimp, or at least the girls didn't. As you can see, the one on the furthest left is actually Hatsy's, and then you have Steff's, and then mine just looks like a freaking big toe next to these houses. Those two went for really like in-depth, detailed kind of stuff. I'm not going to be too hard on myself because I don't use the build tools that often. Like, I'm not really sure what The Sims is capable of, and it just doesn't come naturally to me. Like, when I look at a house, I'm just like, I just imagine a cardboard box, and my houses are very boxy, and it just doesn't come naturally to me. I'm not saying that to get you guys in the comments like, oh no, don't be so hard on yourself, you're not, you are a builder, like you're good at it. I'm honestly not saying it because of that. It's just, I don't know the game's capabilities. I'm not used to building. I definitely struggled with trying to figure it out, and that is why I change it a lot throughout this build. And it's just like, I look at something that I'm making and I'm just like, nope, this is not working out. Like, I'm just not used to it. I'm so out of practice with building, which I definitely want to get into a bit more. This was a bigger challenge than I expected. However, the girls made me feel really like special. They were like, don't worry, it looks good. I was like, you guys are being nice, but I'm gonna take it. because that's a compliment when it comes from those three. Hattie did say that it looked a bit like a daycare center, which I was fine with. I was like, you know what? It's colourful. It's crazy. I appreciate it. But my goodness, it does look like a big toe. I honestly... Man, it was a struggle. I was up till probably 12 a.m. the first night I started this, doing like the exterior. Then I was up till 12 a.m. again the night after that, doing the interior. And then I also had to finish it off early that morning before I went away for the weekend. So I was kind of losing my head a little bit whilst it was coming to a close. But we got there in the end. We made it through. Like I said, the girls were lovely about it. They didn't take the mick out of me, which was great. I appreciate them being kind to me. However, I did have a lot of fun. I can't say that I didn't. It was just a big project to take on when you aren't really used to it. And now I have to like talk for the next 45 minutes about random things. So I guess I'll start off about like talking through San Francisco. I obviously can't say a lot because I'm still under embargo and things like that, and I do not want to get into trouble with EA for anything, so I'm not going to mention anything about like EA, but we got invited over there by them to test out The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs, The Sims 4 on console, and The Sims Mobile. So it was a really, really fun trip, and I got to meet a lot of people who I had never met before. Like Kayla, I had never met. We were obviously mutual friends for like the longest time through Steff, and like we followed each other on Twitter and stuff, but I'm that awkward person where if I don't meet someone like face to face, and honestly haven't known them pretty much since I started my channel, I get really antsy about like talking to them. I'm like, oh, like what if they don't want to talk to me? What if they think I'm like a douchebag or something like that? So I was really worried to talk to Kayla, and I don't know why, because Kayla is lovely. Like honestly, I don't know what I was worried about, because we have like a similar kind of humor. We get on really well, so it was so good to meet Kayla eventually. Like finally we met in San Francisco. I just invited myself up to her and Steff's room, and I was like, right, I'm going up, I'm doing it. So yeah, I kind of just invited myself upon Kayla, and now she loves me. What can I say? I'm practically her grandma. I'm Steff's mother, so that makes me Kayla's grandma. So I adopted her, and then I already knew Steff and Hatsy, obviously. We have been to numerous UK events together, and I love my girls. Honestly, we all just get on so well when we're together. We are mental. Like, we all just non-stop just laugh. We just crack each other up. And I think that's the nice thing about, like, the Sims community, is the fact that you already have something in common. So when you finally do meet people for the first time, you either A, are already internet friends and, like, you've been speaking for years, or there's always something to talk about because you can always fall back onto The Sims. And usually, whenever we do meet, it's in that event capacity, so you are always talking about The Sims. Honestly, when Simmers meet up, we don't talk about anything else other than the game. No, that's a lie. We definitely do talk about different things, and we play games together. It's just a lot of fun, quite honestly. When Simmers get together, it's a fun time. You guys will know that. If you've been to the Simmers meetup or anything like that, you will know that everyone has a love of the game, but everyone kind of has a similar humor to themselves, and no one really takes themselves too seriously. We're all just basically a big bunch of nerds who have finally left the house. So we're all there for each other, we're all comforting each other, like, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. Yes, you're in the real world, but you're in the real world surrounded by people who also love the same video game as you, so it makes it a little bit easier to fit in. Quite honestly, like, apart from my friends at school now, and obviously, like, Danielle and her friends, I don't get out all that much. I mean, I used to have a part-time job, so I used to, like, leave the house to go to work. However, I left there a few weeks ago, so now I'm back to doing YouTube pretty much full time. And apart from these events and then going out with school friends like into Manchester, I don't really get out much. Obviously I have my family and we do a lot together, but it's mainly making videos and then catching up with all of this lot through Skype when I'm free and things like that. So that's pretty much my social life at the moment. Pretty much just Sims and YouTube and my girlfriend and old school friends. I mean, it's not a bad life. I'm fairly content with everything that is going on in my life right now, and I wanted to throw myself into YouTube. You guys know that I want to get into live streaming as well, which is hopefully happening on Monday. I am hopefully having the schedule of streaming for 3 hours on Monday, 3 hours on Wednesday, and 2 hours on Thursday. I'm hoping that will work out for me. I haven't been able to do it as soon as I would have liked. Fred had his operation and everything like that, so I was on doggy duty. I had to be a babysitter for Fred because he was practically just like knocked out, and we also didn't want him biting or anything like that or doing anything to hurt himself more than he needed to. But he's just gone for his checkup this week. As I'm actually doing this recording, he's going to the vet today for his final checkup just to make sure everything's healing correctly, and then hopefully he'll be fine and we can kind of leave him to his own devices a little bit more. I've kind of made a little bed with all the sofa cushions for him on the floor so he can't jump off the actual sofa and hurt himself again. Honestly, it's like having a toddler in the house. If you've ever had like a sick puppy who has either one been like drugged up from the vet. He wasn't really that bad when he was drugged up because he was just asleep majority of the time, and he slept a lot through his recovery. Like, he is one sleepy pup. He's a lazy dog anyway. He's not one of these dogs who constantly likes to play fetch or anything like that. Like, he'll do one fetch and then he'll just flop. So luckily he's not the most hyperactive doggo I have ever known, which is luckily for me whilst he's been in recovery, because he's just kind of chilled out and just wanted all the tickles and stuff. But hopefully, fingers crossed, he should be all good now. So fingers crossed, streaming next week if everything works out, which I'm fairly sure it will, because I'm going to be streaming probably 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. UK time, so I'll pretty much have the evening to stream, which is going to be good. I'm so excited to start streaming as well. Like, it's something that I've done on and off since pretty much starting my YouTube channel. If you guys remember the good old days of like 2013, 2014, when like Emma and I used to chat a lot, like we'd just go on Skype and we'd like interrupt each other's streams. I'd always be on stream with either Emma on Skype or Ellie or someone like that. I mean, those guys, we've all separated and gone our own ways and stuff. Like, I rarely talk to Emma anymore, which I kind of need to do. I miss Emma. If you guys remember Emma, that was crazy. Like, that seems like so long ago now. Thinking back on it, it's like thinking back on how the community has changed, and it's changed so much. Like, when I first started my Sims Twitter, like the EnglishSimmer, when the EnglishSimmer was born, it was August of 2013. I was obsessed with, what was it called? You know, the machinima. Oh my goodness, what was that Sims 3 machinima called? With like, Trevor was his name? Travis? I can't remember what the machinima was called, but like Steff and I would used to fangirl over it. Oh my goodness, it's really annoying me that I can't remember what that machinima was called, but everyone in the community was like obsessed with it, and the Alejandros was still a thing. Everyone had Minecraft servers that we all used to play on. Like, 2013, 2014 Sims community was a wild ride. If you guys remember it, if you've watched my videos since around that time, like when I used to play Minecraft on my channel. Hello, who am I? Who do I think I am? Do I think I'm Sasha? I'm joking, I would never come for Sasha. She's too good at what she does, honestly. She is far too good at what she does. I could never go after Sasha in a million years. But yeah, I used to do like Minecraft Prison with those guys, with like Hannah and Emma, and then yeah, like I said, the Alejandros was still a thing. I was obsessed with Pink Sims, like Island Paradise Let's Play. Those were good old times. I remember those times well. Although Twitter, I kind of like how Twitter is nowadays. It's a lot less crazy. I mean, Steff and I always go on about it, because Kayla and Hatsy weren't there, I don't think, like 2013-ish. So Steff and I go on about it and they're like, this sounds mental. Like, what the hell was the Sims community at this time? Like, before The Sims 4 had even come out, before I'd even gone over to San Francisco for the first time, it was crazy. Everyone used to chat to each other. Nowadays, it's like, no one really lives on Twitter anymore. I mean, I still go on Twitter an awful lot, and I know probably a lot of you guys are like, what? I live on Twitter. But honestly, back in those days, everyone lived on it. You either lived on Twitter and you lived on Skype. Like, I could have been talking to someone on Skype, yet still having like 5 different conversations with them over Twitter. It was ridiculous. I used to spend so much time on Twitter, and that was whilst I was in university as well, which was just weird to me. I don't know how I actually did it. Looking back on it, I don't know how I managed to get a 2-1 in my degree and also have a fairly successful YouTube channel. I mean, I hit 100k in my last year of uni. I think just before I finished my dissertation, I hit 100k subscribers. I don't know how I managed that, because I would probably lose my life if I tried to do that again. I don't know how I was so organized. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I'm impressed with myself that I did. I think I just wasn't like making as much content as I am nowadays. I mean, nowadays I kind of upload almost every single day apart from Mondays, or like if something comes up then I won't record. But then I was kind of just like playing it by ear. I think because I didn't have as much of an audience and it wasn't as much of like an expectation to have those videos all the time, I kind of took it a little bit more chilled out. Like, and a lot of people were very understanding that I was in university and working towards a degree as well, which university is a crazy time in someone's life. Like, there's a lot of work to be done in uni. And I was obviously going out and having fun with my friends and having a lot of hangovers. That's what happens when you go to university up in Newcastle. There's a lot of alcohol involved. And I probably shouldn't be saying this, but there is. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. There's an awful lot of vodka involved in university in Newcastle. If you're a drinker. I mean, obviously if you don't drink, then you don't have to worry about that. So I kind of played YouTube a bit more by ear around that time in my life. I was like, oh, not feeling too good, like not gonna have a video up today. And I still do that now if something comes up. But I feel like there is more of an expectation these days to actually be like, oh, Molly, where's the video? Like, are you uploading today? And that's not a bad thing, because that encourages me to keep on recording. So keep pestering me, guys, because you're the reason that I do this. You're all still the reason why I make videos. As long as my content is still enjoyable, then I'ma still enjoy making it for you. So just, you know, at this time where like YouTube is at the moment, it's really important for you guys to show your favorite creators that you still enjoy their work, because I mean, views have been dropping for a lot of people, especially for me as well. Like, I am including myself in that one. And as long as we know that there are still people out there who do enjoy our content, we're still gonna make content. Like, you do feel discouraged. It's just a natural human reaction, I think, to feel discouraged when you aren't like getting the views that you're used to or something like that. But as long as we know that people still enjoy it, then we're gonna still enjoy making it. I don't know how I am gonna make this talk over like 46 minutes long. I'm genuinely just gonna go off on so many tangents. I'm like barely gonna talk about the house, although I have moved on to the interior of the house. I started with the basement because I didn't really know the kind of like feel I was going for. Like, I didn't know what colors I was using, if I was going with a specific kind of like time era or anything like that. And usually when I'm building, I have something very specific in mind, whereas this house was so big. And also San Francisco is like mix and match. Like, look at these houses all in a row. They all look very different to one another, and they all have like their own individual characteristics. I actually did a laundry room, so when that laundry day stuff pack comes out, you guys, if you're gonna get it, then you can add in washing machines instead of dishwashers. I don't know how I feel about that pack. I still don't know how I feel about that pack. I'm kind of disappointed that it didn't turn out to be an eco pack, I guess. I mean, I was really wanting like off the grid or something like that. And I thought there were a lot of cool options other than laundry, to be honest. Like, I don't particularly use laundry all that often. I say as I'm building a freaking laundry room, which I never really do in builds, but Hattie had one, and I was like, oh, that's a really nice idea. Like, and also there's a crud ton of things in the basement, like room in the basement. So I was like, do I have a gym or do I have a laundry room? Which I didn't actually add in a gym. I was thinking about it. I actually was really debating having a gym. I think it just like flashed through my mind that I didn't even do it when it actually came to it. Whoopsies. Oh well. Who needs a gym, to be honest? You can go out to a gym. You don't need a home gym, or you could turn this into a gym, I suppose, if you wanted it to. Like, that room is fairly basic, but I do quite like it. It's quite homely. And then this next room that I am currently working on, a lot of you will be like, this reminds me of the Zalfie house. Honestly, it's 100% where I took my inspiration from. Their new house, can I just say, Zoe and Alfie's new house, holy crap, I am in love with it. It is all the goals. Like, honestly, it's incredible. I am so jealous, but also so in love with their new house. Like, their new dining room bit, this is what this room was based upon, with like the pink lights and the dark wallpaper and stuff, which I realized as I was making this room, we don't have any we have dark wallpaper, but we don't have any black wallpaper in The Sims 4. I think I used like black bricks. There's black wood and there's black bricks, but there's actually no like full on black wallpaper, which was a bit weird to me. So you can't have anything non-textured as black. I mean, sometimes it's a lot of bright colours in The Sims 4, which I understand because it is quite a bright game. Like, the colour palette of the actual game is quite bright in itself, but for those times when you just need a black wallpaper, and I mean a plain one, I mean there are loads with like gold, like flowers on and things like that, but there's not a lot where it is literally just a black plain. There's actually none. I've said that. There is zero black wallpaper. So, Sims team, if anybody's watching this, I don't know how you've made it through 23 minutes of me talking about absolute tosh, but hey, if you're watching this, if you're still engaged by this point in time, then how about adding in some black wallpaper, you know? I'd appreciate it. I feel like a lot of people would probably appreciate it. But yes, this definitely has Zalfie inspiration behind it, because like I said, their new house is just freaking goals, and I want it in my life. Everything about it is just perfect. And Zoe's interior, because I know she had a lot of input on that house, her interior eye is incredible. Like, please give it to me for when I build Sims homes. So much talent went into that house, and it's just incredible. Like, I am such a fangirl of it. So after I did the whole basement bit, I was like, right, this is looking a little bit too plain, you know. The outside of the house was like someone had just vomited rainbows and pastels all over it. And then the bar room that I did had like some really cool hot pinks in it and stuff. But then I kind of like changed it up a little bit. So it's kind of like they have all this color in their lives, and then they're also like trying to make it look a little bit more livable and not as crazy as the outside, because that literally was just like a unicorn had puked everywhere or had just done like a massive poop all over the house. So we kind of made it a little bit more classic for the living type area. I mean, when you have these really freaking tall walls and a lot of like light and these really skinny rooms, they're kind of built like terrace houses over here in the UK, you know, like really stuck together, quite skinny, but then super tall. That's kind of, are they terraced houses? I think they are. I don't know. This is how you can tell that I'm not really into building and things like that, because I'm like, okay, is this a terrace house or is this not? I don't know. But we didn't really have too much like room to play with. After you had built like the hallways and the stairs, you know, like the actual things that Sims needs in their life to like move around and not have like rooting issues, which thankfully isn't so much of a thing in The Sims 4, but if you used to play Sims 3, my god, was rooting an issue. It didn't leave too much space to play around with, which I was quite thankful for, because my god, building this thing, like the exterior took hours. So luckily interior is more my thing in a way, and I felt way more comfortable with this. I was like, right, I'm gonna actually focus on it now. I'm gonna do it right, and I kind of went for more dark woods. My builds are always a little bit more dark inside. I don't know why, but I can't really do like super colourful things unless I have like a specific theme for it, like my cafe from Dine Out. That was like super pastel-y, but that's because I based it off a place where we go when we're in Cornwall, and it's like a cozy little like nook place. So unless I have like a specific vision, because I'm an artist like that, you know, proper artiste over here, I always have visions for my houses. What are you talking about? Stop calling me out. But yeah, I didn't really have a vision for this, and I kind of tend to stick to, I guess you could say, more like traditionally masculine kind of woods and dark woods and things. But then I also feel like that's a very American kind of thing. I don't know what it is about like America, but whenever I go stay in a hotel, it's very rare that, unless like California was one of the only places where I visited and it's been quite light, whereas when I stayed in like Florida, and I've stayed in Washington, and I've stayed in New York, where else have I stayed? That's pretty much it. I think they're the only places that I've been in the US, I'm fairly sure. It was a bit more like dark woods, whereas California has been the only place where the room has been quite light. But you guys seem to like dark furnishings a lot of the time. So I went for this very retro kind of wallpaper. It's a little bit out there. It's a bit in your face, I'm not gonna lie. So it's not as colourful as the outside, but it is still very like in your face. And I'm really feeling orange at the minute. Like every single build that I've seemed to do in the last like, I don't even know, 6 months has had a lot of orange in it. I don't know what it is about the colour orange, but I have a really deep obsession with it right now, which is weird because I don't particularly like oranges or anything like that. I used to have an orange desk chair, but that's not a thing anymore, so I don't really know where my orange obsession came from. It just kind of happened, and I just think it looks really nice in The Sims 4. I think because you have like limited colour options in a way, you really have to like decide on a scheme and then go with what you have in the game to support that scheme in a way. So orange is always a colour that you know there's gonna be a lot of a lot of like furniture for. As long as you have like a go-to color, you're fine. You can do interiors in The Sims 4. And apparently orange is mine for some bizarre reason. I have no idea. And then I wanted to add in some cabinets and I was like, this is not working because it's all gonna be botched up unless I put them really high up. And I don't actually know how a sim is meant to reach any of those. I don't know, maybe they're like concert goals when people get on shoulders of each other, but also even then, unless they're like 8 feet and look like Slender Man, I don't think anyone's gonna be able to reach those cupboards. So I don't really know why I went for it. I guess it's just to fill out a room and it's decoration. But I went quite Victorian looking for the kitchen. I felt with the living room being quite dark, I wanted to contrast that out with the kitchen and decided to add in some white things. Because we're all about equality here on this channel. You guys know that. It makes me laugh. I'm probably gonna stick like gay somewhere in the title to this video, or maybe not, maybe I'll put it in the thumbnail, but then I might get flagged, so maybe I won't do that. I forgot YouTube is flagging things. That's not good. Although it seems to be flagging more so lesbian than the term gay, which is weird to me. Someone suggested that it was because of porn sites, but also that's like really rude because that's just reducing someone's sexuality to a usually a male fetish, which is not right. Like, you can't just say all titles that have lesbian in them are like gonna be rude. Like, no, that's not how it works. Look at Stevie, for God's sake. She's out here teaching young women who may be questioning their sexuality, like how to have safe sex and things like that. But no, she's apparently not allowed to talk about it now because all of her YouTube videos are gonna get demonetized. Like, what the heck? She's out here trying to help young people who don't really have a voice in the world. Maybe they don't really understand it, they don't have anyone they can really talk to about it. But no, apparently that's not allowed under the new guidelines, which really makes me unhappy. I mean, we should all be equal in this world. If people can do never have I ever with their boyfriend or girlfriend and they're totally straight, then what's to say that a gay couple cannot do the same? I'm saying this because mine actually got taken just in like the safe viewing mode. My never have I ever with Danielle got taken down because I said with my girlfriend, but also boys who are straight or who are in a relationship with a girl at the moment would have also had with my girlfriend in their title. However, theirs didn't get flagged because it was straight. Like, it makes zero sense to me, and that's my little equality rant for this video. It's over, it's done with, I'm gonna put it in the drawer and leave it. Here I am just like trying to plop things down to make this place look like a kitchen. However, watching this is making my stomach rumble like hardcore. I can't wait until I just finish this voiceover now and can just go like eat my weight in Pringles. Or I have a fresh tub of Pringles downstairs. This is how you can tell that I don't do voiceovers that often. Like, my mind flits from like one thing to the next so quickly. It's ridiculous. Like, building is such a different skill to doing a let's play, because obviously when you do a let's play it's all live, like it's happening in that moment, you do your commentary in that moment, and I've never been the best type of person to like have to watch footage back and then create a commentary from either what I am watching or what I have known I've done when it's not been live. Like, that's never been a strong suit of mine, but I'm working on it. You know, YouTube is all about challenging yourself, stepping out of your comfort zone, which is exactly what this build was. I mean, when someone says they're gonna start practicing building, you don't expect them to have a freaking 3-story, huge San Francisco terraced house as their first proper, like, building project. Last weekend, I was doing a room build because I was like, oh, a room's like nice enough. Like, I can focus on a room. I can see the direction I want to go in. It's quite a small area, bam. The next weekend, you got a whole 3-story house mansion to yourself. I mean, technically, this isn't a mansion. This is like a legit, just like a normal home in San Francisco, which I'm so jealous about. Americans, you have a sweet deal, my friends. Like, I swear your houses are like so much cheaper than the housing situation over here in the UK, and I think it comes from the fact that you guys have so much land. Obviously, you're a huge ass country with loads of land to build on, so it's quite cheap to build homes over there, whereas like when I watch like retail, like shopping retail shows over there, I'm like, holy crap, like that's not expensive for a house of that size, whereas it would probably be like 1.2 million pounds over here. But it also does depend on where you live in the UK. Like, obviously London is ridiculous for housing prices, whereas the north isn't too bad, but you guys still definitely get a better deal. And your houses are like, just in general, like, say if you were to buy a house like as a starter home, like your starter homes would be way bigger than the UK's. So you guys don't realize, I mean, you got some other problems going on in your country, but your housing is pretty damn good. It's pretty sweet. I mean, I guess it does depend on where you live. I can't see New York being cheap for anyone, for example. But like in the suburbs, you guys would get it a lot cheaper than us. So I am pretty jealous about that. You should all take advantage of America's current house prices whilst you can. But as I was saying, yeah, it's a completely different skill. So if you want to like call me out, if you want to roast me down in the comments, I will take zero offense to that. Like, usually if someone were to roast me on my Let's Plays or anything, sometimes I can take them as being offensive because I'm like, yo, I've been doing this for almost 3 years now on my channel, and honestly, not as many people as I would have thought when I started a YouTube channel, and also that has sometimes an audience of 230,000. I mean, it's very unlikely that it reaches that amount of people anymore, but to have an audience, it's never really been too negative, my comment section. Sometimes on certain videos, just have to go through them and I'm like, delete, you're not worth anybody's time in this comment section, so that's going. But it's very rare that I have awful comments. And sometimes when it happens on Let's Plays, because that is what I do, that's what I'm known for, sometimes they're my little babies, and I do get offended when people roast them. But I will happily accept roasts of this build and this video. I mean, if you made it to however far we are in this video, almost 40 minutes into a speed build, then congratulations to you. I should definitely get you a medal for the next time that I see you, because you got way further than I probably would be able to get in this build, and you should be proud of that. You're quite clearly a lover of either The Sims or San Francisco or maybe me, which I don't know how, but if you made it this far, then you definitely deserve a medal. Like, congrats to you. You are a human being who has a very, very good concentration. Social awareness. No, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm trying to think. What is it? Attention span. That's the word. My attention span just went off trying to think of that freaking word. So you've done well to make it this far into a video. I've been talking for so long that I can't even think of words anymore. I'm just like, ugh. And then here I'm adding in a couple of my rainbow touches. I did give these guys a rainbow door. I can't remember if I kept it or not. Like, it does look a little bit odd when I like zoom out there, as you just saw, into the corridor, because it's kind of just like one rainbow door in this quite traditional looking house, but I actually like it. I don't know if I got rid of it or not. I thought it looked a little bit out of place, but then I was like, hey, I feel like that's the type of people they would be who would live here, you know? Very out, very proud, and very colourful and rainbow-esque. I do go around the house a bit later on and kind of add in a couple of well, what the Sims call like rainbow flags, I guess. There aren't any actual rainbow flags in the game, because that would be custom content if I did have any, and this build does not have any custom content. I will remove my mods pack before I upload this to the gallery. I'm gonna have to upload this on Monday, so it won't actually be up on the gallery as you guys are watching this because I'm away at Danielle's for the weekend, but it will be up on Monday at some point in time. Just yell at me in the comments if I forget on Monday. Just be like, where's the build that you said would be up? And that'll remind me, because most likely I'll forget at some point. I'll forget at some point over the weekend, and then it won't go up, which always seems to happen. Whenever I do a creator sim, I don't even think I've uploaded last week's room build yet. And I was so totally meant to do that, and I've just reminded myself of it now. That's how bad my memory is. So you guys just have to yell at me sometimes in the comments. Just like I assume some of you are gonna roast me down there. I'll probably be roasting myself. Like if you guys, I like how I mentioned roasting when I just stuck like a flame neon sign up on in the bathroom. I don't actually know why I added that in. I just kind of like it. This bathroom kind of ties in to the bar dining area that they have downstairs, which I have also just realized that this house isn't very practical. Like I had something in mind, and then looking back on the actual build, it's not the most practical house I have ever built. I mean, there's 2 bedrooms and a spare, well, one's a spare room, because I did make this for like a couple. So there's 1 spare room, and then the dining room is like all the way in the freaking basement, which is ages away. I mean, most of the time they'll probably sit on some form of sofa, because we have a lot of chairs, a lot of sofas around this house, which isn't too bad. I mean, when you've got this many stairs, you gotta have a lot of sofas. When you're working out that much, see, that's why I didn't build a gym. I decided that they had enough stairs to climb, so they didn't really need a gym, because I would be dead after climbing 3 flights of stairs. Is there 3? No, there's only 2 flights of stairs. Well, anyway, I'd still be dead after 2 flights. Because I am unhealthy as heck and have never set foot in a gym in my entire life. That's how unhealthy I am. So we're coming up towards the end of the video, so I do want to let you guys know that all of the girls' channels will be down below. So you got Hatsy, who made the first house on this row. You got Steff, who built the second house on this row. Then mine is the big toe in the middle. And then we've got Kayla's on the end, and her house hasn't been built yet. So you've not seen Kayla's house in my video, so you should definitely go check out hers. Go check out Hatsy's and Steff's as well, because I assure you their videos will be way more put together, and well, I can't promise that, you know? I don't know what their commentary is gonna be like. Steff's a little bit rocky sometimes, not gonna lie. But you should definitely go check out their videos. They're all such amazing girls, and I love them so much, and I miss them a lot as well. We've been back from San Francisco now for like almost a month, so I've not seen them in forever. But I think Steff and Hatsy and I are all gonna go to a Halloween party together, which will be very fun. We'll hopefully drag Kayla along, even if that means that she has to buy her own plane ticket. We'll make her. We'll bully her into it. That's the handy thing of hanging out with a 14-year-old, is that you can just bully them into buying a flight to the UK so that they can visit their friends. Oh, we're all so mean to one another, but we all love each other, really. So definitely go check out their channels. Subscribe to them if you aren't. Each one of them does machinimas and let's plays and builds. Like I said, they're all incredible builders, as you can tell from this collab, and I just want to say thank you to them for letting me join, even though it like brought down the feeling and the vibe of this San Francisco neighborhood like quite a lot. So thank you girls so much for inviting me to the collab. Links will be down below to all of their channels, and I'll also throw in all of their Twitters as well, and maybe their Instagrams too, getting all that promotion for my besties. So you should all go follow them on all socials, because we're quite an entertaining bunch, I have to tell you. You're missing out if you're not following us. If you like this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. Like I said, if you want to roast me, go ahead in the comments down below. I do not mind. But thank you all so much for watching. If you've made it through this far, you're the best. And I will speak to you all in my next video. Bye guys!